You know, and I think the other thing that people want to do is, hi, no worries, have a sense that they have resourcefulness. Because isn't it everybody in this room will go through, has gone through, or is going through big challenges, right? We've all been there. And so the only thing we fundamentally lack in life, in my opinion, it's not anything. It's not money. It's not time. The main thing that people lack in life is a sense of resourcefulness. That somewhere from within they can draw resources to overcome, to thrive, to transform anything. Make sense? So I think the main lack that we have is not healthcare, it's not money, it's not time, it's not ideas, it's a sense of resourcefulness. So we want to cultivate that. These are important pieces of our talk tonight. And at the deepest level, everyone needs to be doing two things. So if I had a formula for happiness, happiness equals A plus B, here it is. Ultimately, we need to be growing as human beings. And growth, real growth, never happens in your comfort zone. Does it? Never. In fact, for a lot of us, especially the more stubborn variety, of which I am included in that, we often learn in the greatest moments of struggle, defeat, pain, suffering. These are usually often major catalysts for massive growth. However, one can choose growth every moment of the day without being in a crisis. In fact, it's optimal to do it that way so that one doesn't end up being whacked by a 2x4 over the head by God to wake you up. Perhaps some of you know that experience. And growth and then contribution. So this capacity of growth and then the natural movement into giving is ultimately the recipe for unleashing one's genius, for experiencing deep levels of passion and purpose. But for a lot of us, there's a lot of stuff that stands in the way to get to that point, so we're going to discuss that. But that's it. This is what I think we all want the same things. Make sense? All right, cool. So let's talk about this, because this is a really critical component of my philosophy of health, and I think an exceptionally scientific view of life. It's a worldview, it's a philosophy that says wellness, vibrance, vitality, well-being, health, balance, peace, these are your natural state. These are your natural state, and that when you're in this sense of balance or homeostasis, when there's flow of information in your body, in your nervous system, in your emotions, in your mind, there's a natural wellness, a natural vitality, there's a natural peace. Moreover, we're self-healing. Our bodies are self-healing. Most of the time, when you get injured, your body heals. Most of the stuff that happens in your body you don't even know, because you have this amazing pharmacopoeia inside of you producing more complex pharmaceutical chemicals than you could ever even imagine instantaneously to basically deal with all of the assaults and insults and threats your body experiences every minute. You don't even have to think about it. Your heart's beating, your lungs are breathing, your liver's working, your kidneys are detoxifying, your intestines are sorting and filtering nutrients. You don't have to think about it. Your body's self-healing, it's self-regulating, and it's robust. This has really big impact, because no matter what people's health issues are, if we can restore this balance, the body heals itself, the mind will heal itself, pain will resolve, the emotions sort through, a whole new identity and sense of self can emerge naturally as a function of this orientation of balance, of peace, of inner wisdom that's always there. In this, just that last pause I did, you had about 500,000 nerve impulses going down your spinal cord and back up. There's another 500,000. Your heart beats an astounding amount of blood through your body every day, and it works enough. I can't exactly remember what the exact dimensions are, but it's enough to lift, I think, 2,000 pounds up 2 stories. That's the net generated energy of your heart beating, and it just does it for decades and decades and decades. Your breathing alone is detoxifying your body and bringing in life and excreting out that which you don't need. It's remarkable. It's remarkable. The complexity and depth of your own brain and the possibility of rewiring and remaking yourself, no matter how screwed up you've been, is phenomenal. So no matter how far down the scale one has gone, there's always this recuperative, regenerative, reorganizational function and capacity of the body that is the natural order. Life is always wanting to expand. Life is always expanding. I don't know if anybody here was raised Catholic. I was. Oh, that's right, you're from Ecuador, so of course. So there was this great Jesuit priest, Pierre Teilhard de Chardin, in this wonderful quote. He said, life, to remain alive, has to be constantly changing. Has to be constantly changing. He was a really interesting guy. Side note, 1950s, pre-Vatican II, he said, evolution is real. I want to study the evolution of species as it relates to the intelligence of divine spirit. He was almost excommunicated, but it's actually a pretty cool concept. His writing is some of the coolest in the world if you ever want to read it. But so for life to even remain alive, it has to be constantly changing. And isn't it that change is totally inevitable? What's the one inevitable? Change. Everything is change. Everything is change. The amount of progress that we make as human beings, as individuals, within that change, however, is completely optional. That's completely up to you. That's completely your choice. And I would submit to you that the very challenges, the very pain, the very stresses that bring you into this place, or any place like this, are the very opportunities to get you to make progress in your life. So every challenge, every seeming obstacle, every challenge is simply an invitation. It's an invitation to live fully. When everything's really comfortable, when everything's going just right, when everything's just so, people usually don't heed that call. They're not drawn by that invitation into life, unless they're very special, and they'll just be struck with this yearning and this urging or a sense of oneness with all things. But for the most part, it's the select few who are the select many, the select majority that have to experience incredible pain in order to change. Pain becomes the great catalyst. So wellness, vitality, peace, health, balance, vibrance, these are our natural state. These are our natural state. How does it feel to hear that? It's refreshing, right? It's true. It's true. Your body restores itself. Your mind restores itself. Everything's working for you. However, obviously, people have pain, people get sick, people get ill, people have stress, people have anxiety, people get depressed. So what happens? Where's the break?